Good evening, gentlemen. Tonight, we'll talk about some ideas or some theme which you must never try and put it in your thematic apperception test. Reasons we can keep on talking about against each point. Aim is to bring in general awareness. If we can keep these negative thoughts or the plots away from you, there is every possibility that your TAT story is going to be better off. Now, let's start by talking about what are these topics? What are these? So, the first and foremost, the SSB is there to check your 15 qualities. If you really ask me, you do not require any preparation, you do not require any training if you have got good personality. And if you have got good personality, probably you will pass on your own merit. But if you don't, then there is a need for it. I call it, you must take bath from strongest detergent, I call Nirma powder, so that your personality becomes cleaner. Notwithstanding the same, as I said, SSB checks about 15 qualities. And over and above those 15 qualities, it also talks about, check about your motivation, check about your trainability, and insight. So total of 18. So let's talk about why do we call it banned? As said, these particular themes are negative. And you take these negative things, there is some, whether you like it or don't like it, something negative will subtly emerge from there. And there's a high possibility that you will be in a problem. So the first and foremost is, let's say it is severe trauma and negativity. Accident, injury, hospital, bed, disease, etc. This projects a morbid mindset. We'll talk about morbid a bit. Something negative. Or an obsession with physical vulnerability. It shows you gravitated towards tragedy instead of constructive scenarios. So as far as psych is concerned, they will take you as an accident-prone defeatist who gives up, who thinks about the negative aspect of the system. Next is death, funeral, suicide. It indicates deep-rooted pessimism, depression, or inability to cope with life's pressure. Suicide especially highlights a total lack of stamina and mental resilience. So pessimistic, low mental stamina, sick mentally. Next is, many of you write a story, you went to the jungle and lost your direction, probably, and you start crying. So lost, alone, crying, suffering alone reflects social isolation, low self-esteem, dependency, and a lack of emotional stability. Also must be resilient and team-oriented. Helplessness, it shows helplessness and you've got no resource. So it shows low affective intelligence, low self-confidence, can't handle stress. So there's one group of problem. Second group of problem is what I call a crime, vice, and moral lacking. Well, it happens in our society, it happens in our environment. So many wrong things are happening. But is it necessary I cut, copy, and paste what I read in newspaper and put it in the TAT story? Nothing wrong. But problem comes up. Why can't we be original? Clear, realistic, original. So the first thing, police chase, crime, thief, robbery, bomb, terrorist, shows a hyperfixation on anti-social elements. Candidates often write twist, Bollywood-style story because you have seen Amitabh Bachchan doing that and you're taking law in your own hand. It also shows about anti-social identification, negative, violent fantasy. It shows aggressive or guilty mind, morbid attraction, and cut and paste from paper or media that really we are exposed to. Next is cheating and lying, oblique dishonest act, demonstrates a compromise on core values like integrity, trustworthiness. In our cases, we call a sense of responsibility. So it shows integrity is an integrity issue, and we cannot afford to compromise in services about integrity. Low sense of responsibility. Next comes many people talk about drinking, smoking, drugs, mafia, and all sorts of things, drug trafficking also. Why should this come to your mind? It should projects poor self-discipline, bad coping mechanism, and weak moral character and bad habits. Poor discipline, sense of responsibility. Next, unemployment, job seeking, begging, poverty, focuses on helplessness and resource scarcity, dependent, no initiative. Board wants you to manage things, optimize, lead. You can't be helpless. So it shows low EI, effectiveness, reasoning ability, organizability, self-confidence, speed, resilience, all qualities go down automatically. Failure in examination, depression, well, highlights an inability to handle academic or mental pressure. It shows a lack of self-confidence, defeatist attitude, low confidence, gives up easily. That is how things would be there. Next is, you become a superhero. Miracle. God help you. Begging for luck, blessings. Well, those are, as I always say, spiritual quotient is one of those four Qs. IQ, EQ, PQ, and SQ. But here, we expect you to be a leader. You have to perform. You can't depend on God to win the battle. You have to fight it out. It indicates an external locus of control. You are relying on luck or magic to solve a problem instead of your own solving the problem on your own capability. So you become escapist and dreamer. Next comes you are writing a story, you're watching TV, sleeping, resting, gossiping, chatting, receiving a letter, very low-level ideas. We would say lazy, unproductive, lethargic personality, time waster. It's like a factor 2 and 3 OLQs, like initiative and all particular thing. It has no purpose. You are supposed to bring out 15 qualities. And each story, TAT story, is expected to give out 3 to 4 qualities. And if you got 12, so it means 12 to the 48 and divide 15 means at least each quality should at least come at least 3 times. Some people talk about they're walking with a girlfriend and probably she fell down because she was putting high heel. And I said, what is this trivial, low-level ideas? You talk wardrobe malfunctioning, things are done very you're focusing on very trivial, superficial. It has got to no, it gives you no value. It's a trivial, low-level idea. Then many people talk about past glory, remembering old days. It indicates that you live in the past and lack the drive to create new achievement in the present, living in the past glory. That is how to say. Remember, when the briefing for TAT is given, this says what led to the situation, what is happening now, and what the outcome will be. It means now you have to create a problem for the past, solve the problem in present, and bring out the fruit of your effort of the present in future. That's how should the past, present, and future. That's how a story should be. So if you talk about only past, well, you've done extremely well as a class 7 student, you score 99 or 100%. That then will do so well when you are doing engineering. Okay. Next comes you show a poor social adjustment, quarrel, fight, argument, suggest a poor cooperation, lack of tact, an aggressive, non-accommodating nature, low social adaptability, cooperation, sense of responsibility, and anger management. This becomes a phenomenon. You make a story of love, romance, which we are supposed to be looking for an observed material, not a hero of Indian cinema, Bollywood. While natural, this romance is natural, nothing wrong with it. But does so immature, personal, SHB testing your administration and leadership potential, not a romantic life. So not a serious about your career. Next comes up. Helping your mother, routine affair, helping her in kitchen, or giving a medicine, or calling a doctor. They're even trivial low-level ideas. It's a routine matter, routine code that you do it. Nothing great. By giving a medicine to your mother, do you think I've done anything great? So no, so this sort of say it is no social outlook. You are looking infantile. बच्चे माँ की सेवा करना तुम्हारा कर्म है, धर्म है. There's nothing wrong. Then people write down, make a hero of greater than your own age. Heroes should be of same age and sex. If you make a hero a child, then it's called regression. If you make a hero which is more than you, so you are trying to your own identification, trying to identifying with an elderly person. Your qualities are not coming back. We are looking for your quality, not your father's quality, not some other's qualities. Okay. Next comes you give a lecture, you go across in a village and you organize a meeting. I say this is how modern farming is to be done. So that's one lecture. Is it going to solve the problem? It's simply so you're a theorist. You talk big, but lacks the practical drive to execute plans. Passive, preachy, armchair thinker. That is what it should be there. You have decided to do something, but no result. So what is the use of doing it? Proves a lack of determination, effective intelligence. Ops are expected to follow through on the decision and bring tasks to conclusion or closure. Unable to perform. Next, catastrophic or sad setting. Destitution, incurable disease, hopeless, negative bent of mind, defeatist, unable to solve problem. Adi, if you say your father was suffering from cancer and he's died, what it is? What's so great? You are only doing his last rites. Is it useful? Is it bring out any of your qualities? No. Then I say, services is not supposed to be apolitical. It has got no religion. It is religion only the uniform that you put it on. We can't expect a person to unionism, unsocial, anti-social. So your story should never be political, religious, unionism, unsocial, anti-social, because there's no place for these activities in services. And lastly, negative or sad setting or sad ending is so pessimistic and you are unable to solve the problem. Well, there are some of the points which you must really keep in mind that you shouldn't write a story with these particular things. I did talk about morbid. So morbid is a state of mind. It's a psychological condition characterized by unhealthy, unwholesome, or obsessive fixation on gloomy, distressing subject. It most commonly manifests as an unusual preoccupation of death, decay, disease, or gruesome events, often stemming from underlying issues like depression, severe anxiety, or past trauma. That's the reason, Antonio, do not write any story of these negative points. Then something called morbid attraction, also known as morbid curiosity or macabre. It's a psychological drive to engage with an observe unpleasant, frightening, or taboo subjects such as death, disaster, and violence. It serves as a safe way for humans to understand potential threat and process complex emotions. But what do we are looking at? Do we require this sort of thing as far as service is concerned? No. We are supposed to fight and win. We go to battle, to out war, to win, not to lose, not to lose what it. Okay. So this was some of the points I thought maybe of some use to some of you. If you avoid this sort of negative plot, at least your story would be at least at zero level. And then probably you can afford to work out and bring out your other qualities for writing a better plot. Remember, you must define the problem in first 2 to 3 lines, act in 8 to 10 lines, and talk about the future in last 2 to 3 lines. Right then, hope it serves and gives you some inkling how stories should be written. Thank you. Goodbye.